When it comes to recording videos and uploading on this channel, the goal is never to get viral or like get as many views as possible. Of course, when I got views, when I started uploading my, the cold calling videos, me scheduling appointments with roofers or remodeling business owners, right? Back in like 2023 December, I got like 2,000 views, 1,000, 1,500, 1,800 views quite easily on all of these videos, the initial ones. That helped me build like a new flow of revenue for me in a very short period of time. So I literally made about $3,000 or something just from YouTube. People from YouTube watching my videos and then even knowing that, hey, this guy is just learning from scratch, and then people coming to me and asking me to teach them that, hey, you have scheduled like 20, 30 appointments. I have said none. So can you teach me how to at least get 30? And begin the process. So the goal for me has always been to document my journey so that, for example, which is paying dividends right now. And I think, I'm not sure who I'm speaking to at this point for this specific video. It's more like sharing my thoughts and experiences that I've seen so far. And then I'll also get into a bit into I wrote down a few things about like the things that I believe everything is connected, right? So every single thing that I've done so far in my life in the past 6-7 years, every single thing is connected and it's paying me dividends right now. So if you're doing anything at this stage, even if it's not giving you optimal results that you're looking for just yet, it will still pay in like at one point of time, and it'll all make sense then. Sending DMs did not work for me, but it still is the part of copywriting that makes the show ups happen, right? So when I'm talking with clients and I'm speaking with prospects who are like, I have bad show up rates, right? I know what happens or what causes those bad show up rates because of the DMs that I've sent, which did not give me clients or did not get me anything for 11 months. But it got me a lot of appointments or interested responses, which I did like experiments with. So now I take that into a part of the process which doesn't seem like a lot, but it impacts the entire process a hell lot, right? It cannot be, you cannot just pinpoint the value of making show ups from 35% to 55% or 55% to 80%. That's something that only someone who is in the day-to-day trenches understands, that hey, you're waiting for someone to hop on and there is no sign of them, and then you send one single question in a message and then suddenly they respond or they are triggered to take an action that you want. That's the skill that I took from the DMs. I'll get into that as well. So in this video I'll touch on both of these pillars a bit. The first one, again, let's get into it. First one is like the use of YouTube videos in your sales process. So I think when it comes to B2B, people do need to make decisions. So if you have a service that actually provides value, same goes for the mortgage people, like mortgage loan officers looking to get referral partners as realtors referral partners, and also like agencies looking to get clients. It's in B2B, right? Business to business scenarios. So if you have something that actually is needed, like they need more, right? Even the realtors will say, I have a lot of them, but still, they still are sending referrals to the client. So there is a need. Every single person that I'm speaking with on these calls, recently we have scheduled about 85 calls in the last 2 months. We have some issue with our, conversion rates. So we are optimizing it. It's a new service. So we are doing a lot of A/B split testing there. But I have spoken with probably 35, 40 people now, right? And every one of them, except a few, every one of them has something significant about themselves, right? So the type of person they are, the things that they focus on is very unique to someone else. So when it comes to realtors and mortgage loan officers, mortgage professionals, that dynamic, no matter if the realtor has 5 other people, you still can be someone unique, just because the way you approach things and the authenticity that you have can be the selling point, which I already saw happening for 2 people right now, right? In the last 2 months-ish. The last 2 calls that I've had, both of them had a look at my YouTube, and that really gave them a good insight about the type of person I am. And also it's more like the consistency that you build over time. It only keeps compounding the amount of respect someone has towards you. So the question of legitimacy or question of like, hey, is this person serious enough, goes out of the window, right? There might be other concerns, absolutely. For example, for us, there might be concerns for, hey, you know what, the results, how long will it take? What happens if this doesn't happen within this set period of time? What are the guarantees? And I'm just afraid, I'm fearful, I might not have the funds right now. Is this good time to invest? Those are normal business questions, right? But the question of, hey, is this guy someone who I should trust or not? You can pretty much have a look at the YouTube, go through the videos right from the first day, which is like 2 years back, and there is not going to be a single person who will say, hey, you know what, I still don't trust this guy. Because again, like the parasocial relationship, if you go and search Daniel Priestley on YouTube, you can see parasocial relationship, what that is. It means when someone spends at least an hour with someone virtually, right, the human mind doesn't have the ability to differentiate between a physical face-to-face conversation versus a virtual one, because that's not natural, right? So this is a new phenomenon. So the human mind subconsciously still reads this video as a person talking to you, right? So you become a familiar face when someone consumes your content, even for like 10-20 minutes, right? These 20 minutes, if you compare that to someone that they have met, right? Let's say they spend an hour on a call with you, they spend about 30 minutes on another call with you, so you had like 2 calls. That's like 1.5 hours there, plus that's face to face. But apart from that, on their on their own convenience, they consume like 2-3 videos here and there, which is like 30 more minutes there. So that really adds up to a lot of depth in the conversation. And if you're showing up as authentic as possible, then you become someone who kind of is more authentic, right? And authenticity, no matter how good, bad, or how vulnerable you are, what are your weaknesses, it doesn't matter. Like authenticity breeds trust. Authenticity, no matter how good, experienced or inexperienced you are, if you're authentic, it will breed trust. So if someone has, for example, I spoke with someone who is really good at sales, let's say, but he has to sell every single time. He has to sell himself every single time. But before selling, if he just has his own YouTube presence or videos where he can send something to them, of course, if you can frame it better, as in, hey, this is something that will help you before our call, and you can positively frame it for their benefit, that makes them more inclined towards watching it. It makes the conversation much more warmer. I literally saw that happening a lot of times. So having YouTube videos and making sure you just record and document yourself, it pays dividend. I mean, 2 years later right now, from the moment I started posting my first video on this channel, every single time I'm speaking with any new coaching client, someone, not a client, I would say coaching student, right? Someone who's coming in to learn how to set up their own agency, or learning sales or appointment setting for themselves in India or this part of the world. I can just direct them to the YouTube. They can just spend an hour watching me. They will know what type of person I am, because on these videos, no matter what you see, I'm no sugarcoating. I'm just the person who I am. So yeah, I might not get a lot of views, and I'm not chasing that, but the 5, 10, 20 people that comes across these videos, they trust me a lot, which helps in conversions to anything. Conversions to someone respecting me, conversions to someone paying me to get them ahead somewhere, someone just referring me to someone else. Every single thing fast forwards. So that's the first part. Secondly, how every single thing is connected. My story is a bit it's not something that people should look up to if you look like specifics, right? Is this the ideal thing? No, not really. But I feel like my story itself has given me a lot of influence. I can internalize a lot of things in scenarios. So I can just detach immediately from any scenario and then look into myself and say, hey, you know what, let's analyze this and then break it down and take it forward. But I feel that the reason it came to being is because I did so many different stuff that there is nothing that actually is super difficult, right? So I cannot see any single thing that is thrown at me. I cannot believe that it is impossible or near to impossible. I speak with these people every single day. Like, right now I'm speaking with mortgage professionals and I'm speaking with realtors. I do see people having this notion that, hey, you know what, I don't think I can just get there just yet, right? And it's a very common thing. And I don't know why, but I don't have that personally. So I think that is an asset that I can leverage and add to someone else's life, which I am really excited about. But besides like being as of service in certain areas, for example, when someone is like, you know what, I don't think, let's be realistic. What is realistic? I don't even know that term. Realistic is anything that you see in your mind. If the mind can see it, it is there. It's just a matter of when it happens. And also the question, like the answer of when it happens, is also in your control. Like how fast you do, how many more times you fail, how quickly you fail. That's how long it takes. So is there anything that's impossible? No. Like human beings are like, of course, this one is coming from like Alex Hormozi. Like he says this, he articulates it this way, that human beings are going to Mars, building like, islands in the ocean. Like, can you not just get like 10 more realtors to send you business? I mean, it's how difficult can it be? Of course, there might be a lot of variables into it, but is this really impossible or something that we should not strive for, or look at it or put that in a pedestal, right? It doesn't make sense at all. So I started 2016, 17. I was like heavily into like sports, right? And that's a very big mindset thing that I still carry to date. Sports is something that fuels me, has always fueled me. I was a cricketer. I was, in my university cricket team, was heavily focused on that side. I really wanted to make a career out of it. Could not do it. I gave up. Some personal issues, but also like I had a lot of limiting beliefs and small minor injury there. Tried drop shipping, did not have any success there. Tried e-commerce locally. I used to sell like women's artificial jewelries, like earrings and stuff. Interesting stories, interesting days. I still remember the first income that I made from there, 2019, 18ish, 18, yeah. So that was the first ever venture that I've done entrepreneurial, and it was success in those terms, right? In that day, being from the background that I'm in this small town, it was a big thing. So we broke even in no time. I used to go and do deliveries on these orders, and I never believed that I will even get an order. And our packaging was shared, like everything was like handmade, printed, and me and my neighbor, we started this together. Once we completed that, like I went into a customer support job for an airline. So I learned customer service, how to talk to customers. I still take something from that job. It's unbelievable, right? There is something that they taught me, that whenever you're speaking to a customer, if you really want to empathize with them or make them feel at ease, you use their name 3 times in the entire conversation. So start with their name, and with the name, and then try to insert, at least if this is a long conversation, at least use the name 2 more times. It makes them feel comfortable, and that's an insight that I still carry on to this day on my customer service calls or support calls, or any single time I'm like having any conversation with someone where I see that they're like a bit uncomfortable, getting a bit like restless. I try to add that part which calms them up or makes them feel comfortable, which helps us both to focus on the actual stuff that matters instead of just being wavy about it. So that's an interesting thing that I carry from that job. Another thing that I did next was like video editing. Video editing is something, me recording these videos, right? I had this skill transferred where I can pretty much listen to a topic and then I can break it in my mind in 3 parts, because a video is broken down. So, when you edit a video, when I'll be editing this one, I'll be looking into the timeline and then I'll Control B, delete. I use Filmora. So you kind of like look at conversations from that lens, and you can trim and cut different scenarios. You are editing conversations in real time. So sometimes you can think of something and then you are like, about to say it, but then you're like, what, if I was editing a video right now, would I say it? No, then just remove it. And then, me recording videos for one of the oldest YouTube channels that I had. I used to like travel vlog or something, like local travel vlogs. So a lot of things, carry forward to right now. I'm in my communications when I'm using my body languages, using my, like, I'm comfortable on camera, which helps me a lot in communicating with prospects before they hop on. That virtual language thing that unlocked from me video editing, and then communication cadence and stuff like that. And then comes like 3D animation, like, looking at things from a different perspective. 3D animation is something that I've done for like, 8 to 10 months. But I was using Blender because that was free at that point. Like, I was not even able to invest $15 a month, so I used Blender 3D animation. I used to make short films on Blender, very simple animations, but I used to give voiceovers, stuff like that. So interesting things, right? I was very creative on that side. I used to write poetries as well. I have a lot of poetries that I used to write from school. So poetries give me, the art of writing rhyming lines and coming up with sentences. That helps me in cold calls. Interesting, right? It helps me in cold calls by giving me that extra edge, where sometimes I'm like, making like quotes right on the call, depending on the scenario, because I'm I have this practice of thinking quick on, okay, if I have written this sentence, then how to rhyme it with something else, and then come up with a scenario which makes sense with the flow. It's very different, right? So it's that poetry part comes and helps me when I have to make something up on the call, which needs to be like, you need to convey the message while not being annoying or pushy. So you need to add some sort of flavor into it. So that poetry part and then the storytelling part that comes in, it applies itself there. Then I did like filmmaking. I used to direct short films with me and my friend. We had like 3-4 people. I acted in a few short films myself that my friends directed. I used to write stories. I used to prepare scripts. And that helps in pretty much like, sales when I'm trying to convey a message. And always I have heard that people say, hey, just do one thing, just do one thing, just do one thing. And that's great, I think. But before you do one thing, I think we need to fail in a lot of stuff to understand what exactly is something that I connect with and vibe with for the long term. Because I cannot see me making films long term. That's something I cannot do. Right now I cannot see. I would die if I'm just playing a sport all day and that's my career. I cannot do it. But at one time I thought that was me. Similarly, I can't see myself doing 3D animation and stuff like that, right? So cannot do it. But that was needed for me to get somewhere. Another big thing, I'll make a separate video just for that one day, very soon. But that was when I was like literally frustrated with everything going on, and I felt like an inner calling of, hey, you know what, I need to do something so I can gain respect in my own eyes. And within 2-3 days, I pretty much packed up my bags. I bought a backpack for like 2,000 rupees, which is like $25 now. $30, I bought a backpack. I pretty much went out. I was like, okay, I will start traveling. I will do a circle, right, in the south of India, 3,000 miles. It was total of 3,000 miles. I thought, okay, I'll go out, I'll just ask for lifts, and I will travel for free because I have no money. So I want to travel. I want to see what actually happens if I go to the extremes, and what happens if I just completely remove comfort from my life, if I completely remove safety net from my life. What happens then? I had no money. I only had one Realme, like it's a Chinese mobile phone, like Realme phone, Realme 13 Pro. I got that on EMI, installments. I had a laptop that I bought like 2 years back. Pretty much like went traveling. I actually had a plan to go north. Like I used to be in Chennai. I used to stay in Chennai. So Chennai to north, towards north, and then go to Chennai is in east of India, right? So I wanted to go start north and travel through mid-India, like the Deccan Plateau, go to Mumbai or then Goa, and then complete south of India and then come back to Chennai. That was my initial plan. I went out and I stood there on the side of the road, and I saw that this side, it was morning, like 8:30 in the morning. I would never forget this feeling. Even when I, stood up, put the backpack, and then I started walking and went outside, I still could not believe I was doing this. Because there is something, I've never done this. This is not me. Like, it's never normal, right? And I was walking, walking. I kept walking, and at one point I was like, you know what? I'm doing this then. Like, it's so weird. I cannot express in words that until I was there on the road and I asked for a lift and someone stopped and I sat there, I knew that I'm not gonna come back. I am doing this trip. Until then, I was like, I'm not sure, but like I might give up then. But it happened, right? So that day, what happened is the sun was on the other side of the road, which is actually going towards north. And since it was morning, it has the shade was in this side of the road where I came and stood. So my plan was going this side, but because there was sunlight, it was too sunny, I felt, you know what, I don't know how long will it take for me to get a ride. Who is going to stop for me? That was the first time I've ever done this. I don't know if it's even possible. Like 3,000 miles, can you imagine 3,000 miles with like random strangers giving you lifts with no money at all, no food, no place to stay? And that was me. I was 21 then. And immediately I changed my plan to from like initial plan being going towards north, then to the western side of India, and then coming south, and then getting back to Chennai. Plan changed immediately to starting south, going south of India, then going to Goa, Mumbai, and then coming back to Chennai. Interesting change of plans in the last moments. That's why I cannot, when someone says like, you know what, I think decision making needs time. It doesn't. It just has to be done. Everything that is right or wrong happens because of other variables, not because of when you decide. You can make the same decision 2 separate times. It can be a right one or a wrong one, but that's not in your control. What is in your control? And you can never know like when is the right time until you do it. It's never possible. Like you can take a wrong decision and you are fucked pretty much. But you don't know until you are actually fucked. But you can also take a decision and then you get twice the result that you're expecting, which again is not in your favor, in your control. So my thought process is, this is something that I feel that at least even if it helps someone, like one person, it will be good. So how I think about decisions is, the future is a possibility. That me doing anything is a possibility with like endless outcomes. If the possibility is uncertain, then it's equally possible for it to be a disaster, and it is equally possible for it to be the greatest experience in my life, which I will take to my deathbed. If both are fucking possibility where I have no idea which one is it gonna be, why will I choose the scarcity version of myself and choose the negative and then focus and get focus on that? Because whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on that negative side, you will find reasons to not be grateful about it. And then it becomes an experience that you can never cherish. On the other hand, if you choose the abundant side of yourself and like, you know what, since both are possibility, why not choose the better possibility? Like, at least you don't have to pay tax to choose a possibility. So why not choose the positive outcome? And then, focus on that and just make sure that everything that you do is towards making that happen, so that by the end of it, you don't at least have the regret that, hey, I have not tried my best. I failed so many times in so many things. And the only thing that makes me smile to this day is the thing that I, from my side, have given it all. Like, I enjoyed it. When I was filmmaking, I enjoyed it. When I traveled, I enjoyed it. Yes, I was not making money in filmmaking. I made some money in graphic designing. I made some money when I was doing like the customer support job. It's not about like the outcome, money. It will come to me regardless. It will come to me. I will make million, multi-million. If I'm breathing, I'm winning. Like that. That's what I'll choose, because what else to choose? You don't know anything. You might die tomorrow. I might die tomorrow. I might also die like 50 years later. I don't know anything. When you don't know anything, why not have a better choice of thought? It's equally same. It's pretty same. You choose, hey, I might get fucked up, or you choose, hey, I might get the best experience of my life. Both are same. It's you who make it possible in your mind. So if both are in your control, why the fuck not choose the positive one? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, pretty much. Then I did like one seller support job after that travel. I did some seller support where I was interacting with like Amazon sellers. So it was more like focused on business and business challenges. So by now I had like the experience of customer, like what customers focus on, how to make it a better customer experience. Then I know like what exactly business owners are, kind of like struggling with, that perspective. So now everything combined, I have like so much perspective of a lot of stuff. I could see more clearly. I could see things more clearly. I could make more decisions, better decisions. And I knew that, okay, possibility of positives are more higher than possibilities of negative. The worst that can happen is you die, and if you die, nothing matters. And the best that happens is like there's no limits to it, and the more better it gets, the better fulfillment you get. And money, of course, it's good and great, but money doesn't get you fulfillment. Fulfillment is something that you take away with you. But of course, money is amazing as well, and it comes with how skilled or how effective you are and how much effort you put into it. So at the end of the day, everything is under control. But anyways, after that, I got into a B2C marketing, selling like a digital course, digital service in India, which taught me a lot about like sales and marketing. And then I found like control there, that hey, if I can improve my skills, I can make it. It was like, yeah, okay, it's in my control now. And I stuck to sales, marketing, advertising, since then. It has been like 2021, like 4 years now, right? So I did that for 2 years, almost like 1 year, 8 months ish. And then I got into the B2B agency space. Started in roofing, remodeling, was working with that other agency, and then started with this mortgage side in 2024, mid, August or something. I got with Manish. Manish was already working with this, like he started this already. Joined hands, me, Jan, and Manish, we started, improving this, and step by step we are here. And if there is anything that I can wish, is if I could do every single thing that I failed in much quicker. If I could take every single decisions that I did, which did not get into a fruitful result, if I could just take that decision like 2 days back, 7 days back, and still get the same result. Fail. But I just wish if I failed earlier. Because every single failure is not something like, if I won, the wins are not something that I can carry, but the experience is super amazing. So, and those experiences still pay me to this day. When I'm having these conversations, I can see through people's like, I have more empathy for people. I can see through what they might be concerned about. And I genuinely have this, the scarcity is no more there, the abundance being there. It really helps me uncover and really be at ease. It's a weird combination. It's a very weird combination, because I'm in sales and it's in my control that how much I can make. I know appointment setting. I can pretty much pick up the phone and start dialing and then schedule appointments without anyone's help. I just need a phone and maybe $10 a month. I can pretty much make $1,000 a month, which again in my country, $1,000 a month is like, it's not bad, but it's not good as well. But anyways, like let's say like $2,000 a month, which is good. So if I can just spend like $25 a month calling people, and then I make like $2,000, is it like a bad deal? Of course it's not, right? So I mean, safety is never a problem. So the scarcity is just gone out the window. Abundance helps me focus on actually what matters for the people that I'm speaking with. Sometimes there are people who comes in who genuinely doesn't make it easy for me, and I mean, anyways, I I prefer not to take them on, not because I want to look down on them. It's just because it's not the right thing at the right time for them. Like they might have too difficult scenarios that they're going through, which makes it difficult for them to have like the basic respect towards someone, regardless. And also, like a lot of variables are there which is out of my control. So at those times I just ignore having the conversation. I'm like, what, respectfully, let's decline it right now. We can catch up again like 3 weeks in, 3 months in. I'll share my progress and stuff like that. We can stay connected if you want, and then we can catch up back. So yeah, these two things. I think if you can, I wanted to share this video. I'm not sure specifically to whom, but I believe it's going to be valuable to anyone, even if it's like just to 2 people in the next 1 year. I would be very glad that I could do it. Just record every single thing that you do on YouTube, regardless of how good or cool it looks. I don't know, man. I mean, if you're in the US, of course, you can get better equipments to get started with. I mean, iPhone is good enough, just a mic and an iPhone, and have like an editor from a third world country and pay them like $200 a month to consistently record basic recording. Don't focus on like how good of a quality do you do to get more views and stuff. The views are like bonuses. The best thing is like the document that you can have for yourself to look back as well. Right now, there are times when I'm feeling very low. What I do is I go back and look at the older videos where I was saying stuff to other people, or at least sharing my experiences, and I listen to myself, and it gets me a reminder as well. So there's like, if there's like 200 or 250-ish videos in public videos on this channel, there's more like same number or double the number in like private unlisted ones. So there's a lot of videos that I share talking to myself, and then I upload those things, and I can look back and go back and watch myself speak, and that also gives me a lot of conviction, because me closing $2,000 deals, $4,000 deals, 8,000 miles away from the people that I'm closing the deals with, there was a time like a year back or 1.5 years back when it was like just a dream for me. I never thought that I could do it, right? Because I have a lot of insecurities. I still have a lot of insecurities. I really am not the person that I always wanted to be. I'm still not there. I have a lot of insecurities, right? And I feel like I'm not worth it. And I still try to fight that by adding more skills, developing more, and doing more, and try to just improve myself on a daily level. But I still do have that self-worth question that is a very big limiting belief in me, which I'm working on. Once that is done, everything is going to be smooth. But I have removed a lot of other limiting beliefs, but this one just doesn't go away. It just creeps in at times. So the self-worth thing, at that point, like, it was impossible for me to even think that I can close $2,000 deals just right off the bat. And like with people, I could speak with people with such confidence, which I'm speaking with right now on these days. And people, like, I have something of value for them. And me being able to do that was not something that I could even imagine. But there were times when I recorded myself saying to the camera that, hey, you know what, a year from now, this is going to happen, because I'm not going to give up. I'm not sure how, but I will make it possible. And when you look back at those videos and see, like, you know what, I told myself that I will do it, and then now I am here, I actually did it. It makes it easier for you to believe in yourself that, hey, you know what, if I can say anything, I can make it happen, because I pretty much did a couple times. So let's analyze what exactly did I do, and let's try to replicate it pretty much, right? So yeah, record more videos. It really helps. And secondly, and of course, record it for yourself, not for other ones. Anyone who comes and connects with you happens as a bonus. And everything else, if you are like someone young, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, I'm 28, turning 29 now. So if you're like in that time period, if you feel like you still are not where you wanted to be, and people are saying that, hey, you know what, just do one thing, it's all bullshit. Trust me on this. I wish I could tell myself, go back in time and tell myself that, hey, you know what, just ignore these and just keep doing whatever you feel like doing. The A/B split testing is needed. It is needed. You need to go through the iterations to find out, okay, what exactly suits your soul. Right now, I know what suits my soul. I can keep doing this Right now it's 3 a.m. midnight. I am in love with my work. You have no idea how much I love working. This work is so amazing. I have no fucking clue how, and how am I gonna get out of it. It's something that I believe I can just keep building. So and my I wake up and then my mind starts working on solutions. So it's amazing. And I could never do this with such pride and focus if I did not know that, okay, every single thing that I tried is not for me. Otherwise, right now I would be distracted. So you will be distracted if you have the freedom, if you have given the freedom to build businesses and try stuff, and if you have not done anything, multiple things to try and test yourself, then you will get more distracted. I believe that might be different for you, but my personality type, that's what happened. So yeah, a lot of people, whoever got the chance, suggested me doing only one thing when I was 21. 10 different things later, every single thing counts. Every single thing helps me till this date. With that, I'm signing off. I hope this video gives value to at least 2 people in the next 10 years. With that being said, I will see you in the next video. Cheers. Thanks for watching.